And you look at Conor after that leg break, he got fucking jacked.
Ripped.
Just gigantic. Like 200 plus pounds, it looks like. Just huge fucking shoulders. And like, that's generally not the result of natural hormones.
Conor McGregor has finally broken the silence the MMA world didn't even realize it was waiting for. After years of chaos, distractions, injuries, doubts, scandals, and the kind of public downfall only a global superstar could survive, the most unpredictable man in combat sports suddenly looks more dangerous, more disciplined, and more focused than he has been since the night he slept Jose Aldo in just 13 seconds and shook the entire sport to its core. What makes this moment so electric is the simple fact that nobody saw it coming. While fans assumed McGregor was spiraling deeper into the lifestyle that swallowed so many legends before him, he was instead doing something nobody expected from the loudest man in the UFC. He was working in silence.
Are you excited about this? I mean, have you thought about it? I mean, it's a pretty cool thing.
I'm ecstatic that Mac is back. And what better event than to grace the White House lawn for a straightener? What I do best. I'm very, very excited, very eager, very motivated. Bring it on, baby.
Do you think that's when you maybe come back? I mean, what about comeback for you as far as fighting?
I'm very happy that it's June. It was on in July. Now it's a month earlier. Even better. Bring it to April. Why not? Let's celebrate the birthday early. I celebrate my birthday months in advance.
So we could potentially see maybe possibly White House Conor McGregor.
That's a definitely.
That's awesome.
For sure, that's my event.
That is your event. That is.
Sure.
Conor McGregor at the White House.
It's over, bro.
It's over for him?
It's over, dog.
He made too much money, huh?
He made way too much. He went from plummet to making, he sold that liquor for what, 500 million?
Yeah.
It's too much.
Right. He got 100 million for fighting Floyd.
Then he was doing pay-per-views like nothing. Him and Khabib did 2.5 million pay-per-views. These dudes, he made too much money.
I have 8 months and change out to the White House event. It's a 6-month operation to get ready for this bout. And that's my focus right now. I'm just eager to climb the steps into being ready for my...
Behind closed doors, away from the noise, away from the headlines, and far from the circus his life had become, Conor McGregor rebuilt himself from the ground up. The late-night tweets stopped. The parties vanished. The chaos that once defined him faded into the background. In its place emerged a version of McGregor that is now terrifying the entire MMA community. A version that looks bigger, cleaner, sharper, more explosive, and more committed than anyone thought possible after the injury that nearly ended his career. And Joe Rogan, a man who has criticized McGregor in the past, has suddenly flipped his tone completely, calling it one of the craziest turnarounds he's ever seen in a fighter's mindset. Rogan has seen the footage leaking behind the scenes, the power, the precision, the physical transformation that doesn't look like a comeback attempt, but a mission. He sees a man who has finally cut out the noise that destroyed his prime and stepped back into the darkness, where true killers are made.
This is me, Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler and myself have done the show, The Ultimate Fighter. We've had a good back and forth. He's a good, tough guy. And, you know, the Mac is excited to get back for sure. What better way to come back than such an iconic event? Done deal, signed, delivered. It ain't a negotiation. Wow. It's a done deal, signed, delivered. McGregor will compete in the White House alongside the President Trump's administration. I believe I have a 6-month operation ahead of me to get ready for this, to put on one hell of a show for the American people in celebration of their great birthday, 250 years of independence, incredible business together. I'm the highest generating fighter of all time in the Ultimate Fighting Championship.
McGregor has gotten himself to a point where he's, you know, he is and will be, whether he stops fighting or not, one of the biggest superstars in sports, period. And he's gotten to a level of success in his life. He has to, I think, be motivated by something. He's accomplished everything, and especially financially. And now he's got to find something that truly motivates him to want to come back and do this again.
Yeah.
I don't know if the White House is it, but we'll see.
Bare Knuckle show in Manchester. And earlier in the week, last week that is, the boys talked about this, him putting out the tweet that he wanted 100 million to fight on the card, including the 100 US, quote, golden visas for himself and his family and friends. So he wants 100 milli. And then he was asked about this at the Bare Knuckles show. Here's what he had to say.
Yes, let's go.
Donald agreed to terms for White House Card.
You know, I'm not negotiating with the UFC on behalf of myself for this fight, like usual. I'm negotiating with the United States of America on behalf of Ireland for this fight. So it's a peculiar one. But Trump and the administration
have been fully supportive and backing, and I cannot wait
Should John
to
Jones
put
be
on
on
the
that
show.
card?
Yeah.
What do you think of Canelo Crawford?
Okay, so that's fascinating. He's saying that he is negotiating with the United States government. Now, who is actually going to pay him?
All of this is building toward the most bizarre, historic, political, headline-shattering event the UFC has ever attempted, the UFC White House Card. A card Dana White wants to stack with names so massive they create a cultural earthquake, and Conor McGregor sits right at the top of that list. Because no matter how big the UFC becomes, there is still nobody who can headline an event like McGregor. And after years of drifting, he now looks like a man desperate to reclaim the throne he once walked away from. The question now is simple. Who does he fight? Some want Michael Chandler, because the storyline has been dragging on for years, and the footage already feels like a Hollywood trailer. Others believe Dana White could go rogue and throw McGregor into something truly monstrous, a headline slot that shakes the entire sport. A McGregor main event at the White House would be the biggest political and sporting crossover in UFC history, and Dana knows it. But while Conor McGregor is rebuilding his legacy, another man is desperately trying to force his way onto the same stage, Jon Jones. The problem is, Jones has burned too many bridges, pulled out of too many moments, and frustrated Dana White too many times, that even with the biggest opportunity the UFC has ever had.
You know what I mean? Like if Trump says, yes, I think you should get $100 million to fight on this card, who's actually cutting that check? This is fascinating stuff. What a journey it's going to be to get to this card in June of 2026. $100 million seems like a little bit outside of the UFC's typical. I don't know. Actually, you know what? With the new TV deal and the double, rights fee raise, maybe everyone is going to be making that kind of money.
I don't know about everybody, but I think Conor McGregor can command it.
Yeah. Do you guys think that Trump and his team are going to say, we want these people on this card?
Yes.
Yeah, so do I.
Yep. Which is why a representation for the U.S.
Right.
Which is why I keep going back on the don't they want Americans to go over? I don't we keep having these fantasy cards, but I do feel like there has to be an indication.
I don't think they care about the result. I think they just care about who's on the card.
I think they want and all the Americans just get dusted. I don't think that goes over hot.
Chandler, McGregor, this is Canada.
Let's say Chandler
US
loses
versus Ireland, and it's the biggest star in the history of the sport. At that point, you can't worry about that stuff. I just think they want to have the big. When Donald Trump was the owner of the Trump Taj Mahal and all this stuff, he wanted the biggest fights. This is his version of a fight card in 1988.
What's the biggest fight there is? What ingredients need to go into the biggest fight there is? Like if you had an open checkbook or you had the magic wand, and I'm not asking you to put two people together. I'm not asking you to bring in the biggest draw in the business, Chael Sonnen, and put me opposite somebody. I'm asking, aside from the names, what would you need to put the biggest fight in? You want to know where this is coming from? The story that Conor McGregor is being talked to headline the White House card. I don't buy it. I can't buy it. Why are we would be turning to Conor McGregor? And the answer is also out there, because he is the sport's biggest star. That is true. So is that what you need? If you've got the open checkbook and you've got the magic wand, without saying names, do you say, I'm going to put as my main event the sport's biggest star? Is that your answer? Doesn't matter who he's fighting. What if it's a championship match? You have an open checkbook and you have a magic wand and you don't use any names, but you're going to put the championship on. Would you say heavyweight? Would you say women's 135? Would you say wherever Kazmat Chimaev's at? How is it that you would answer that question? And then what if you're really going to go for a big fight? What if you really follow this for a long time? You're going to do what we used to call a super fight, but now we call it title versus title. You're going to take the champion of a weight class and you're going to put them with another champion of a weight class. Your A side and your B side are both going to be champions. You don't get to use names, but that's the ingredients you need to bring the biggest card ever. And it's one of the reasons that I'm struggling with the idea that McGregor is being penciled in the middle of 2025 for a card that sits dead center in the middle of 2026 at a venue yet to be built for tickets that are yet to be on sale. I struggle with it because we're openly saying if we're going to put Conor on there that there's no title. Unless you believe that Conor McGregor is going to demote him.
Dana wants nothing to do with him. John Jones wants that spotlight. He wants that moment in front of the entire world. He wants the prestige that comes with fighting on the most unique card ever created. But Dana White remembers every inconvenience, every postponement, every failed negotiation, and the absolute disaster created by refusing the Tom Aspinall fight. And right now, Conor McGregor looks like the superstar who has finally earned Dana's trust again, while John Jones looks like the superstar who may have lost it forever. And that contrast is what makes this storyline so powerful. McGregor, the man who once looked like the UFC's biggest problem, is becoming its biggest asset again. Jones, the man who once looked like the greatest fighter alive, is becoming the sport's biggest liability. McGregor is rising, Jones is fading, and the White House card is becoming the dividing line between the fighters Dana White believes in and the ones he's done babysitting. So, as summer approaches, the UFC isn't just preparing for a historic event. It's preparing for a McGregor comeback that could reshape the entire landscape of the sport. And the community feels it. Rogan feels it. Even fighters who once dismissed him feel it. This is not the McGregor who lost his way. This is the version who built himself in silence, then stepped out of the shadows, looking like a man ready to reclaim everything he once threw away. And if he headlines the White House card, the sport will never be the same.